What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of All the Mod 7. Today, we are going to get started with a magic mod that honestly is only used for one thing. Let's be honest with each other. With this, everybody likes the Eternal Stella. So if you know where the Eternal Stella comes from, you will know that that actually comes from the mod Forbidden and Arcanus. I do have a quest line for this in the quest book if you want to check this out. I'm not going to be kind of following it, just kind of looking around. And we're going to get everything started with that mod so that we can make that Eternal Stella, which we're going to need several of because we actually need it for the ATM7 Star. So this one should be a relatively quicker episode, get you started, get you set up, and make that forge. So without further ado, let's get started. So one of the first things that you actually need to do with Forbidden and Arcanus is actually get these Edelwood or Edelwood sticks in these logs. And you can find these in Dark Forest. It's in the Dark Forest biome. We actually found a couple of them, Nothing too crazy here. I think we actually, if we go over here and do Forbidden like this, we can see all the items that we have along the way that we've picked up. But it actually doesn't look like we have but 2 of these logs, 4 of these logs right here, and 2 of these Edelwood sticks, or Edelwood sticks. So I'm going to go find some real quick, show you guys what they look like, and yeah, just check those out. The best way to find it is using your nature's compass to search for a dark forest inside of Minecraft. Make sure it's not the Twilight Forest, and we can get that started and head that way. And here we are. I'm in a dark forest, and there's this guy right here. Hello. I don't know what's going on with that, but then we have this right here. This is the Edelwood log. You're going to find these everywhere, and when you break these, there is a chance for you to get a stick, because the sticks actually drop off of, I believe you just broke, like there it is right there. You see it? Should drop me a stick. Yep, there we go. We need a couple of these. This log is so sad. Why are you so sad? Sometimes they'll spawn in other trees like this. You see this? So you don't really need a whole lot, and I think this should actually be enough. So let's go ahead and put up our stuff. What is it? Picking up random things, like what's going on here? So let's go ahead and head back to the house. So one of the first things we're actually going to need is some of this dark matter right here, which dark matter is very simple. We just need to smelt one of the logs and we'll get dark matter out of it. So let's come over here. Let's put one of these in here. It'll automatically come in here, and then we get some dark matter. Simple enough, right? Well, one of the big reasons why you need this is because you need it to make the mystical dagger, which is how you get blood in the pack and actually how you get scales from dragons whenever you kill them over and over. You see, we're also going to need one of these sticks, but we need this arcane gold nugget, and we need a dark room. So we're going to go through all of these things because the dagger is one of the first things that we're going to need. We open up the quest book and take a look. You can see that the arcane gold nugget is one of the first things that we're going to make. And to make one of these, you need arcane crystal dust, and you need Mundibutter. I will never be able to say anything in a single pack. The Moon Dust. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it the Munda Dust. That's what we're going to, like Mundo from League of Legends. Munda Dust. Okay, Munda Dust is actually made out of arcane crystal dust and some redstone, some blaze, all of the normal Minecraft stuff, and some phantom membranes. So if you've been sleeping your entire mod pack, So let's go ahead and make that. So the Moon to Dust here is very simple enough. We need the Arcane Crystal Dust, which you can get these from Crystal Dust Specs, or you can get these by smelting Arcane Crystals. We have a ton of Arcane Crystals, so this should be easy enough. And now we should be able to make ourselves some of this dust. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just make a stack of these because I know that I'm gonna need them. And that Arcane Gold is just charcoal, some arcane crystal dust, and this Moon to Dust, and the gold ingot. So easy enough. I just made me a random amount. It's not really, doesn't really have to be a ton or whatever. You could set this up. I mean, this stuff is actually really pretty. It's used in a lot of different recipes. And one of the things I actually really like about Forbidden is that it just looks really pretty. Like a lot of their stuff is just really, really pretty. You can also make some golden orchard seeds, and these things will actually grow into, I believe, pretty sure these will grow into those specs, or the arcane gold nuggets, which are pretty cool. So next up in our journey is making that mystical dagger. We need a dark room. And to make a dark rune, we need something called Corrupty Dust. And 2 of the runes, the normal runes, you'll find the runes whenever you're out and about going in the mines and stuff. You can see that I have about 75 in here. But that Corrupty Dust is actually something special. It is, again, that arcane crystal dust. We have netherwort blaze powder and an ender pearl fragment, which is what you get for killing endermen, nothing special. But you also have obsidian ingots. And obsidian ingots are gotten by making some obsidian with iron. So just obsidian with some iron nuggets around it and smelting this. So this is easy enough. I can actually just go ahead and make a bunch of these. And then we can just go ahead and smelt these down and get us some obsidian ingots. So now we should almost be able to make this. We just need to make that corrupty dust. So corrupty dust, you're going to need a couple of these. I think about 8 will be fine. And then I'm going to turn around and go ahead and make that dark rune. And then I'm going to make the mystical dagger. That'll get us started with being able to get some blood and stuff. We're not going to get the blood and stuff just yet, but instead we're going to build everything that we need to be able to use that blood that we're going to need from the dagger. So we're going to head up here in the quest line, which is getting the forge together. So the forge is built like this. It is a giant multi-block structure, and it's actually really pretty and really cool, and I love the way it looks. And these are exactly the things you're going to need. So we're going to need some more of that moon to dust. We're going to need this arcane chiseled, well, it's chiseled arcane polished darkstone. Let me go ahead and tell you guys that this is absolutely confusing, because there's arcane chiseled polished darkstone, and then there's chiseled arcane polished darkstone. You see the difference between the two? One is arcane chiseled and the other one is chiseled arcane. But they're both just a type of polished darkstone, which is like, what? Like, excuse me, what? And then we just need polished darkstone in general, which is just normal darkstone. So hopefully you've been keeping some of your darkstone, just a 2x2, just like normal, and you'll get polished darkstone. I'm gonna go ahead and make a decent amount of these because we need about 45. And then we're gonna need to make this. This is the arcane chiseled polished darkstone. We need about 9 of these. To make this, we need chiseled polished darkstone. Okay, hear me out. Which we could just take and get a stone cutter here, which I have one right here from all of my building. So right here, and then we come over here and we need chiseled polished. So I need 9 of these. That makes some great noises. And then now we can just take and mix it with some arcane gold nuggets. And there we go. Arcane chiseled polished darkstone. Simple enough. But now we need 4 of this chiseled arcane. Okay, flipping it up, chiseled arcane. We're switching it up. It's a little bit different. Which to make this, you need 2 arcane polished darkstone slabs. Okay, right? Which the slabs actually come from the arcane polished darkstone, which is different from before. You need polished darkstone, which is surrounding an arcane gold ingot, and that will give you 8. And we're going to need a total of a couple of these. So we're going to need to make 4 at the end of the day. So let's go ahead and try and make these, okay? So polished arcane, just like this. I'm going to put this in here, and let's go ahead and make 1 stack here, or 8 right there, and then 16. And then from here, let's see how many we can make. Like I said, we're going to need 4 of these, so just 2 rows of those should be enough, and there we go. And then we just need a smithing table and this dust. So from here, we have to start building this entire structure. Now, I have chosen the backside of my bee house. If we come over here and look, this is my bee house and how it's working. God, that's just so beautiful. I'm going to be building right over here, just a little bit outside this door, and we can center it here. So if you want to build this, what you want to do is you want to start by putting that arcane chiseled polished darkstone right in the middle. And then right on top of this, you put your smithing table. We'll mess with this a little bit later. But if we go into our quest book, we can actually look to see exactly how this is built and just how large of a structure it is. This might be too big and we might need to scoot it over, but we'll see. You can also take an inside of JEI, you hold W, just like this would be like a create thing. They've actually created a ponder for this to show you how it's built and everything. And you can actually pause this and everything to show you how it's built, to show you everything and what you have to do with it, which is pretty cool. In the quest book, I actually have this shown here. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4 out in each direction. And then we can work from there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we just start to build our base structure. To start with, I like building this little cross right here. And then we're going to break out these middle pieces because these are actually going to be different. These are going to be these arcane chiseled darkstone, just like this. And then in each of one of these corners right here is going to be another one, just like this. And now those are all 9 of our arcane chiseled darkstone. And then around the base here, it's going to be our chiseled arcane polished darkstone, just like this. And then from here, we could just fill in to make the rest of the structure here. So just around the corners like this, on each side. And then let's double check to make sure we built this right. Looking at this, this looks like the proper structure. And to make sure that we built this right and to finalize the structure, we shift right click, and if it is built correctly, you will hear a lightning strike, and then you will have your forge, which is pretty dope. So inside of the forge here, we have 4 different slots. We have this top left, top right, bottom right. And each one of them holds a certain amount of whatever it is, whatever resource to craft or to make certain things within the mod. So we need Ariel, which you've probably found Ariel like the little jars and stuff, or the containers out and about while you were exploring and stuff, which is pretty cool. We need souls, which this is something that you actually have to make a soul extractor. It's actually very easy to make, to use. We need blood, which is what that arcane dagger is for. And then we need experience, which is just simply enough bottles. You just put it here and it's just bottles of enchanting. It's really nothing special. So let's start with that Ariel. Ariel is our Ariel. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it properly. Ariel is made a bunch of different ways, but a lot of times you're going to find those Ariel bottles. I don't know if I'm saying it right or not. You can actually make this as well with some potions of regeneration, and there's the Ariel bottle. There's also a way to generate Ariel or whatever. I feel like I'm just butchering that word. If I hold W here and I go and I take a look at this, we also will need these darkstone pedestals on each one of these. It depends on how many that we're going to make, basically. But you see this right here? What that little thing was that being made right here? Not the pedestals, but this like really cool structure right here. Arcane crystal obelisk can be placed, which is pretty cool. If we take and make us some more of these arcane polished darkstones, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put it each one of these in the corner just like this. And then we needed those arcane crystal blocks. Let's go ahead and make us 8 of these as well. And if we do this properly, just like this, and we shift right click, this will turn this into an arcane crystal obelisk. Now this is important because this actually builds up Ariel over time by itself. And it's actually a really cool looking structure on top of that. I'm just going to go ahead and build the rest of these out just like this. And now we have a super cool looking forge right here. We're going to definitely pretty this thing up a little bit later. What we are going to need to make is at least 4 of these darkstone pedestals. That's absolutely got to happen. I'm going to stick these on top of this just like this. Do a standard setup, nothing too crazy. Now we have a forge ready to go. We're already at almost half of the Ariel just from this literally just going from those crystals, which is pretty dope. So now we need to figure out souls, blood, and the experience is already figured out. So let's do souls first. To get souls, you're going to need a soul extractor. A soul extractor needs nether quartz, blocks of quartz, 2 nether bricks, and a utrum jar. I'm going to call it an utrum jar. That's what we're going to call it. We just need this jar, which is just some planks from that edelwood or edelwood, and it's a fairly simple recipe. And there's the jar, and now we just need to make the soul extractor. What do you do once you have the extractor? Well, let's head to the nether. Once you're in the nether, go ahead and find yourself some soul sand, because in this soul sand, I'm going to make sure my magnets turn on. You can hold right click to suck out the souls from these things. You see, now we have a little soul. I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple because I am going to need these specific ones for the star. Doesn't hurt to just grab a couple of souls, you know, just getting the souls from everything. And now I have about 10 souls. That's very interesting that you could just take a soul out of it with just a soul. It's kind of cool. So with our souls, we don't actually want to put all of our souls in here, but we could just put one for the time being, and that's all that it really holds. Because we do actually need the soul to make a dark soul, which is what we use that corrupty dust for too. Because the dark soul is actually used to make the dragon soul. So that could be checked off our list. I'm going to stick that in my backpack for later use. And now we figured out the souls portion of this. So up next, we need to get blood. Blood is fairly simple. It's a fairly simple mechanic. We're going to need something first called a test tube, which is just a rune plus a glass bottle. It's very easy to make. And this holds all of our blood for when we kill mobs. Gotta make sure we use our mystical dagger. And now we have a little bit of blood from that, which is good. It's gonna collect about 1,000, maybe 3,000, maybe a little bit more than that. Yo, these guys some health, man. I know he just didn't take my kill. And just like that, we have 2 full test tubes of blood. We can just go ahead and shove both of these in here, drain it out, and fill up the forge. And while this other test tube is filling up, let's go get that experience. These mob farms are super nice. It just, beautiful. Now we can just go ahead and shove the experience into here. Oh, that wasn't even all of it. There we go. Much better. Okay, so all of this is full. Now what do we do? Well, now we can make something called the Eternal Stella. So we need 3 of these X-petrified orbs. They're nothing special. It's actually just something you find in the overworld over and over, and a stellarite piece and a piece of diamond. If you actually do just like I always do and hit this little move items button, it can just give you everything that you need here, which is kind of nice. I like how there's just bottles floating there, like it's a bug, I guess. So diamond in the center here. And then again, you have to put these on the pedestals around it. So on these pedestals, 1 of these, and then 3 of these. And then we actually need something to activate this. You actually need something called a gavel. Just like something that you would see out of, courtroom, you're going to need one of these to activate the forge, which is pretty cool. So bam, there's a diamond one, and then right click. And there we go. We're starting to get some things happening. That's so cool. I love the way that looks. What does it look like from up here? That is so dope. That's cool. It's cool. Now go ahead and make me the item. Can you make me the item already? Bam! There we go. An Eternal Stella. So the Eternal Stella, if you don't know, is actually one of the most OP items that a lot of people really like because it takes and makes something unbreakable. It makes it where it will not ever break. So you know how we have our indestructible axes and stuff like that, all of our indestructible tools that we got from Automodium? Well, this thing will basically do that as well. Wait, why did it make 2? Oh, it's just a visual bug. I was like, what is going on here? But we also need this to make something for the star, which is the Eternal Obsidian Skull, which we need this to make the improbable probability device. And to make this, we need an obsidian skull. We gotta go chop a skeleton's head off. We literally gotta cut his head off. That's perfectly fine. We do all that. We kind of have to do all that, But let's go ahead and make ourselves another one of these. And let's go ahead and make another one. Boop. And now we wait 16 years. I wonder if there's more particles. Let me go turn my particles back on because they were getting on my nerves. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there's definitely particles here. Let's watch it. Let's watch it with shaders. But the shaders take away that cool little thing on the bottom. It's just kind of sad. Right. Okay, so now we need a skeleton skull. Easiest way to do that is to make a cleaver or have some kind of weapon that has severing on it. Pretty much enchanting, which is actually something that you could do with Forbidden Arcanus. If you come over here and you look at the forge and we hit U on it, then we come over here to this right here in smithing. This will actually make you the different kinds of enchantments that you may or may not want on your weapons and stuff, which is pretty dope. It does not allow me to make severing, so we will need to make some kind of tinker's tool, which would probably be the easiest. I'm not gonna go hardcore into tinkers this go round. Like, that's not my ultimate goal for this one, okay? My ultimate goal for this one is just to get Forbidden Arcanus done, but we will need that skeleton head. So I'm just gonna go ahead and at least start the basic tinker's construct stuff. So if we come over here, we just need to make some patterns to start this off and make our tinker station and all that. Patterns are fairly simple. You just need some sticks and some planks. In here, I'm just gonna go ahead and make a stack of them. And if we go into the quest book here, this will actually give us a little bit more and explain a little bit more of them. And then we'll also need to make the materials in U. I'm not going to do all that. I'm just going to go ahead and start making our tables. I'm not going to get super far into it. I'm just going to make all the basic things you need, like a part builder. That one's one of them. And then we need a tinker station, just like this. And then with this, we actually can upgrade this into a tinker's anvil. We will need some seared bricks to do that. And that is a couple of different things. Seared bricks, we're going to have to go back to the house to make. You need something called grout, and it's simple enough to make. And then you smelt this down, and that gives you seared bricks. Put these into 4 like this, and you get actual seared bricks. Then we can upgrade our tinker station into a tinker's anvil right here. We just need some kind of block at the top. So we're just gonna make that tinker's station here, that tinker's anvil, by upgrading it here with an alloy. You need some kind of alloy. It doesn't really matter what it is. I'm gonna use aluminum because I have a bunch of that, and that will make us the tinker's anvil. Get a nice little achievement here. And then I'm just going to set this up like this. If we put the anvil on top of this, these will still both connect. So in this part builder, I'm just going to throw this in here. If we come into the anvil, we can take a look to see what we could use to make this. It takes a broad blade, 2 tough handles, and a large plate. Looks like obsidian is no longer allows me to make it out of that. So let's see if we can make it out of, oh, we can make it out of flint. Sweet. So we need 2 tough handles, a broad blade, and a plate to make this. Click here, handles, plate, and there we go. Flint cleaver, which is like just as basic as it can get. It's nothing that crazy. But we could go ahead and upgrade this a little bit so that way it's not near as bad. I'm just going to grab a diamond and I'm going to grab some nether quartz here. And then we could just upgrade this a little bit more. So that gives it a little bit more durability. And then if we put all of this nether quartz on here, it will stack it up and give us more damage. Which is good by me. It's fine by me. That's cool. Because we just need to kill a couple skeletons to get their heads. And now that it's nighttime, let me go see if I can get some skeleton heads. I just need one. Y'all see any oh, hey, we got one. I don't think I take damage because of the mech suit. Is that an elite? Hendrix the Light? Really? I was looking at a goat. He looks so cool. There it is. And now that we have that, we can actually put this up, and then we could take our smithing table on a stick. If you didn't know you could make this, it's just like the crafting table on a stick. And we can combine the Eternal Stella with the... Oh, we got to make an obsidian skull. Oh, I must mess it up. Let's go ahead and make that obsidian skull first. Obsidian skull, you're going to need 4 of those obsidian ingots, 4 regular obsidian, and then that 1 skeleton skull. And then we have our obsidian skull right here. Then we take that, and you combine that with a Eternal Stella inside of a smithing table, or a smithing table on a stick, which is what I use. And then we get the Eternal Obsidian Skull, which this is needed to make the improbable probability device. That is what we're going to need for the Alamod Star. So another one checked off, going to put that up. And then now all we can really do with Forbidden is just make some more enchantments for us to enchant our gear. So recently I asked in the community, I kind of asked a poll that said, hey, do you guys like seeing people build or do structures or whatever and make things look good? Because if you do, I'd like to know so that way I can, edit or do whatever to these builds and put it into my videos. Because a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just build and skip because I don't really feel like people care a whole lot on what I'm doing when it comes to building and stuff. And I don't really have the tools right now to do time lapses. But just to show you kind of my creative side, which I don't really have, I guess I'll show you guys how I'm going to spruce this up. My first thought is that I want to use more of this darkstone because I think darkstone looks real nice. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to put steps around the outside here, or we can do some frame blocks and do some slopes to make this kind of look and get more of a feel of this actually being an altar. And then we're going to make a path around this, around the edges here, just to make it kind of look nice. So I personally suggest, if you haven't made one of these yet, make yourself a stone cutter on a stick. They're totally worth it. Because instead of having to lose materials whenever you want to make stairs and stuff, it's actually, you don't lose materials. So if I come over here and I change this, and let's say I want these darkstone stairs, or even go up to polished, which is 4 times, 4 times the darkstone, you get all of the access to all of the normal polished stuff and these stairs themselves, which is pretty cool. And then I can take a look at what kind of stairs that I like here. I actually really like these darkstone brick stairs. They look kind of cool. So coming out here, let's see how this looks if we surround this with bricks first. Oh, it's starting to look a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and just hit a bunch of this to kind of path it out around it here. Doesn't have to be kind of perfect. It just be kind of random, just random stuff kind of throughout it. Nothing too crazy. We want to even this up a little bit. And now what I'm going to do, instead of piling up that aerial, I'm actually just going to break these and move them now that I know that I can move them. And I'm going to use these as kind of like pillars in the corner almost. We could put them in the corner like this for the time being. Give this a little bit more space in the middle here, and then we can break this one. And now that's starting to look a little bit better. What we need though is some way to better transition this outside ring here, so it doesn't look like it's just like, bam, here's a pillar. You know what I mean? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace some of these blocks on the outside with just normal darkstone. So like this. It's going to do the outer ring to see how that looks. And I think what we need now is some kind of contrasting design, our look, because right now it just, again, it doesn't transition properly. So let's get something that would kind of match this. The gold obviously looks really good, but what if we did something like quartz? What I don't like is that these long ends here, these very long ends, just feel unnatural because of how they just don't feel like they go into anything, right? So if I place this down like this, it doesn't feel like it's ending as quickly. Now we have a little bit better of a design. Now let's start adding a little bit of lighting and a little bit of little different texture here. Chiseled polished darkstone actually looks kind of nice. So I'm just gonna come around the edges here like this to connect these pieces here. Do this on all of the sides. And then this is where I want to start adding some of that arcane gold. Let's see if I can connect this to make this look a little bit better with arcane gold. I think the quartz blocks don't look as good, but we're going to replace that with these arcane crystal blocks instead. So now that we got a little bit of a design going, basically, like some of the rules and stuff that I always follow whenever I'm making things is that essentially that if you follow a pattern and you stick with that pattern over and over and over, eventually it'll come out to something that looks kind of nice. But from here, I feel like we need some more depth. It's really cool that we're working on like 2 levels. Basically, we have the upper area right here and the lower area. What we need to do is we need to add some more depth by adding something higher, kind of like these crystals, and that can be done easily by doing walls. So I'm going to make some polished darkstone brick walls, so that way I can use those instead. And then I'm going to try and determine a good place for me to put these. And there we have it. I think this looks a little bit better than what we had before. Obviously, I have shaders on. If I turn shaders off, it looks a little bit better than how it was before. It's like an actual design place, you know? I kind of like it. I kind of like the way it looks, you know? I like the style that it has. I like the arcane gold. I mean, the building blocks are actually really pretty. And I'm not the best builder in the world, and I felt like building it attached to this building wasn't the best idea. But you know what? I still think this looks actually really good for a little altar place. And I kind of like it. I can make me some enchantments and stuff here. I wonder if this is still getting Ariel. Looks like it is. So I'm okay with this. This is dope. I think this is cool. So I think this wraps it up for today's episode of All the Mods 7. Guys, I think this episode is going to be after the All the Mods 8 series is started. So if you do like and want to watch more of my series and want to watch like my All the Mods 8 series, I mean, go check it out. If you like these videos, hit like, hit subscribe, go check out my other videos, see if you like them. And in the future, I do plan on doing several other series. Like I'd really love to do Stone Block. I'm actually going to open up a Vault Hunter server very soon for 1.18 because I think that looks pretty dope. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. And as always, you guys stay beautiful, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye!